Nobody told us being reachable all the time would feel like being hunted. Every sound wants something, every screen asks for a reaction, every moment is interrupted before it can finish becoming a thought. You wake up already behind, not because you overslept, but because the world started talking before you ever even thought about it. Your mind isn't tired from thinking, it's tired from switching moods, switching context, switching who you're supposed to be depending on who's watching. You scroll and don't remember why. You click and forget what you were looking for. You consume all day and still feel empty at night. That emptiness isn't a lack of motivation, it's a lack of ownership. And somewhere along the way, attention stopped being something that you gave and started being something that was taken in seconds, taken in pieces, taken without even asking. And when attention is constantly divided, presence becomes rare. Depth feels uncomfortable, silence feels suspicious. So we fill those gaps, not with meaning, but with noise. This isn't burnout because burnout comes from effort. This is something different. This is what happens when your mind never gets to rest in one place long enough to feel whole. And if you've been feeling scattered, numb, quite irritated, and quietly exhausted, you're not broken, you're overstimulated. So tonight, it isn't about quitting the world. It's about remembering what it feels like to inhabit yourself again. Because before we talk about attention as currency, before we talk about algorithms and addiction and control, we have to talk about what it's doing to the human nervous system just trying to live inside all this noise. My name is the Trill Pill, and this is the prescription. Let's start the show. And we're back for today's or tonight. So whenever you watch this, man, we're talking about paid in attention. We're not gonna be here for a long time, but you already know how this shit goes. Make sure you hit that like button, make sure you subscribe, and bring a friend. This is something like you've never heard before, and I want people to be a part of it. And the more people we get in this community and that we build with, this shit is only going to get better, and it's going to facilitate more conversations about what we need to really be talking about instead of who fucking who and who doing all this other lame man shit. You understand me? Now, attention isn't abstract, right? It's not a mindset, it's not a moral virtue, but attention lives in our bodies. Our brains didn't evolve for infinite input. It evolves to notice what changed, what mattered, what might hurt you, and what might save you. Short bursts, clear signals, then rest. That rhythm kept us alive. And now, what we live in has no off switch. Every scroll is novelty, every alert is urgency, every headline is framed like a threat or a miracle. Your nervous system doesn't know the difference between a predator lying off in the grass and a notification vibrating in your pocket. Both say the same thing: pay attention now. So the brain responds the only way it knows how: stress hormones, vigilance, microbursts of focus followed by a collapse. And that's why you can be tired without doing anything hard or tough or what you feel like doesn't exert any energy. That's why your body feels wired and drained at the same time. You're not lazy, you're overloaded. Multitasking doesn't train attention, it fractures it. Every switch carries a cost. Every interruption leaves residue. Every unfinished thought steals energy from the next one. And over time, the mind adapts, not by becoming stronger, but by becoming shallow. And depth starts to feel heavy. Stillness starts to feel uncomfortable. Silence feels like something that's missing, and that's not a flaw. That's biology responding to constant stimulation. And most people believe that their attention is still their own, right? It's the illusion of choice. I chose to click that. I decided to stay on here. I can log off whenever I want. People get locked in and just saying shit but not doing it. But choice requires energy. Fatigue reduces energy. And a tired mind doesn't choose, it defaults. You didn't plan to spend an hour scrolling. You didn't choose 10 emotional narratives before breakfast. It just fucking happened. Not because you're careless, but because the environment removes friction and hides the exits. The autoplay removes the pause. The notifications, it removes reflection. And the endless feeds remove the sense of what it means to be enough. The system doesn't force you, it nudges you while you're tired, late at night, early in the morning, between obligations, while you're doing your obligations, while you at work. You bullshit. You bullshitting. In moments of vulnerability, what feels like preference slowly becomes a pattern. You feel informed, but not grounded. You feel connected, but not present. You feel entertained, but you're not fulfilled, right? Autonomy doesn't disappear, it atrophies. Choosing death feels like work, choosing silence feels awkward, and choosing nothing feels irresponsible. So you keep choosing something, even when that something is draining your everything. You have to be aware of what's going on out here. When I get up in the morning, I got to spend at least 30 to 45 minutes away from my phone. Use my phone a whole lot with this content shit, trying to stay, locked in, go to the gym, your playlist on your phone, just random shit, But sometimes we don't realize how much phone time we are really spending. And I've seen people lose themselves because of the internet, spending too much time on it, wasting time on it, you know, not doing what you're supposed to be doing or not doing something that's more productive than what you're doing at the current moment. A lot of time is being wasted. You feel what I'm saying? And now you feel fatigued, but you ain't done shit. You done got through the whole day, but you ain't even do shit. You tired, but you ain't even do shit. You understand what I'm saying? You tired, but you ain't even do shit. You just been watching bullshit all day, but you tired. That shit has worked your mind into a motherfucking mush, a mash. You know what I'm saying? Turned your brain into mash. But the fatigue makes us easy. A rested mind can question, a tired mind wants relief. And when attention is exhausted, the brain stops asking, is this true? And it starts asking, does, does, does this help me feel settled right now? That's survival. Fatigue lowers skepticism, it shortens patience for nuance, it increases attention to certainty. That's how slogans replace thought. That's how tribes replace inquiry. That's how being right replaces being accurate. Nobody cares about the truth anymore. It used to be a point in time when, you know, I think just in human nature, we have to realize what that truth is. We have to be careful that we don't allow our minds to live in a fantasy that doesn't exist. You understand what I'm saying? You have to. You have to train your mind. Just like you train your body, you got to train your mind. You know, it, it's like that. You ever see people do some of the strangest shit? It's because their minds is trained that their strange shit is normal. It's too many things that are deemed quote unquote normal that's not really motherfucking normal. It's quite harmful. They've made being a stand-up nigga, being honorable, standing with honor, being intelligent, being smart, you know, being like being loyal, being respectable. They've made that unnormal. And they made being the worst depiction of a fucking human being be normal, especially when it comes to black culture and what we do. It's tough to find content where we're shown in the positive light. It's tough to monetize content that we're shown in a positive light. That's why support is important, especially the platforms like mine and many others. You understand? You can always find some niggas talking shit somewhere. You can always find some niggas being divisive somewhere. If I disagree with somebody on a talking point or something like that, you know, I don't really care what people got to, you know, I'm not here to argue at all. I'm just here to spread the good word. You feel what I'm saying? I'm just here to do what God sent me here to do. You know, I'm just here to um put these good vibes out there. I'm not here to argue and debate niggas about all that shit. But recently, this Deontay Cal and Tariq Nasheed shit is, and a bunch of other things, is just, it's weird to see. Because in a sense, why can't we as niggas come together and say, you know what? I disagree with this shit about what you doing. You know what I'm saying? Or let me question, you know, or let me lock in with you. We can have a conversation and probably meet in the middle. It's not about agreeing. You know what I'm saying? It's more about being, having honor and being a fucking man and not being a sassy ass nigga. You know what I'm saying? Niggas can't sit down and have conversations no more. Niggas be engagement forming because niggas arguing with niggas is very lucrative. You know what I'm saying? It's just not enough that you can just go on your podcast and spit whatever you feel and how you feel, or you know what may happen in whatever you do or whatever you talk about. That's not enough. You got to go and talk down on it, on niggas. I know sometimes we got to be very accountable on um you know our community, because we don't do it, everybody else will. But there's ways to do that shit. But it is what it is. You can do that shit without calling niggas names and all that other foul shit. Until unless a nigga act foul with you, then it's game time. You know what I'm saying? You gotta get active. You know what I'm saying? But going out and looking for arguments, looking for fights and all that shit, that's bitch made shit to me. You understand what I'm saying? But most manipulation doesn't come through persuasion. It comes through wear down. We're gonna come back to where we at, because we right in the pocket, and I want to stand in the pocket with this shit. You know what I'm saying? Most manipulation doesn't come through persuasion. It comes through wear down. You're not convinced. You're depleted. And after enough noise, resistance feels expensive. So the mind asks you, just tell me what this means. Just tell me who's right. Just tell me who to be mad at. Fatigue doesn't create beliefs. Fatigue does not create beliefs. It makes them sticky. So this isn't just a wellness problem, a wellness issue. It's a power issue. It's a power struggle between you and the people who run these platforms with your attention. Every time I get on my phone, it's a big chocolate fine bitch from somewhere. I don't even know where the fuck. I don't know if the bitch real or not, but she fine as hell. Fat ass. Don't do shit. Don't say shit. But she gonna reach for the highest glass off in the cabinet and make that ass jiggle. They just you know what I'm saying? Attention. You gotta catch yourself. You feel what I'm saying? You gotta catch yourself. You gotta ask yourself, God damn, what the fuck? They get paid off attention. You know? Going further, they get paid off these niggas who can't control their attention, and now they shucking ducats. Now they paying the bitch bills through OnlyFans and all that. And she ain't even showing shit. You done got on the OnlyFans and you ain't seen no coochie meat. All you seen was her wearing like littler clothes. She already wear little clothes. Now it's just a G-string. You might see a little side of an areola or a nipple or something, but you ain't gonna, 9 times out of 10, you ain't gonna see the whole thing, you know, especially if the woman is respectable. You feel what I'm saying? You gonna get on there and see pictures of her in a thong and shit. You know what I'm saying? And it used to be that was cool to see. You know what I'm saying? But shit, we live in an era where bitches is butt naked off the jump. You ain't even you ain't even got the goddamn, they just off the jump asshole naked. You understand what I'm saying? That's where we at with it right now. It's in a weird space. And believe it or not, it does something to your mind when you can't control yourself. And you have to, because it's not gonna stop. So if you know it's not gonna stop, you have to stop. You have to control yourself. You have to show some discipline when you're in the midst of all this shit. You got to control your lust, control your mind, control your attention, control what you pay attention to. It's a book by Mark Manson called The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck, right? The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck. And the book is not about not giving a fuck about anything. It's just about choosing what to give a fuck about. You understand what I'm saying? The same thing goes with uh, attention. Just choosing what you give your attention to. Right? You're not convinced, you're not depleted after enough noise. The resistance feels expensive. So the mind asks, just tell me what this means. Just tell me who's right. Just tell me who to be mad at. Fatigue doesn't create beliefs, it makes them sticky. This isn't a wellness, um, a wellness issue. It's a power issue because whoever holds your attention when you're tired can shape what feels reasonable, urgent, and real. You also got to be side note before we start to wrap this up, right? You also have to be weary of what you go to sleep on. Whether it's rain sounds, it's cool. But if you go to sleep with some bullshit on, your mind never stops working. You understand? So the mirror moment. Right now, notice how hard it is just to sit with this, right? No scrolling, no checking, no filling the space, just a voice and your own thoughts. If you feel the urge to reach for something that itch to escape, that's not boredom, that's withdrawal. Not from your phone, but from constant stimulation. That discomfort is attention returning to its owner. You don't need to fix it. You don't need to analyze it. You just need to notice it. Because the moment you can sit with that feeling without running from it, you've already started to recover. So every system, every platform, everything you see, everything that has everything, you know what I'm saying? Every fucking thing is competing for your attention, my attention, our attention. Every system competing for your attention, my attention, our attention. Everything wants attention. You get on these platforms is how long can you keep these people here? You need this amount of people and this many watch hours so they can slap them ads on you. You don't even know what the fuck they got ads on. You don't know what the fuck type of agenda or propaganda that they pushing on you. You just know they got ads during your show to force niggas to buy that extra tier with no ads. Nigga, ain't it something that they make you pay 10, 20, $30 extra for? No ads. Nigga, you can't sit still for 30 seconds to a minute and watch a commercial. They plugging you, goddamn it. You understand what I'm saying? Now it's a game for your attention. Oh, you don't want to wait? Pay $20 extra a month, and you ain't even gotta wait. You can watch the shit straight on through. I don't give a fuck. All my shit got ads. I look bathroom break. You understand what I'm saying? Let me go on the let me go in the kitchen, check on my chicken, let me check on my rice or something. I might be in there cooking or whipping or something. You feel what I'm saying? Because I am a, top tier hood ghetto gourmet cuisine cooking ass nigga. You understand me? But that dawned on me. Now for music, I understand for music. That's the only place where I don't have no ads at this music because I don't want no music with my, I don't want no ads in my music. So my Spotify is the premium joint. You understand what I'm saying? They got me on that. That's my music though, because I gotta vibe out. I gotta get in the flow state. I gotta get in the zone with my shit. When I'm in the gym, I don't need no commercial. I'm in the gym lifting and pumping this shit. You feel what I'm saying? The goddamn, if you want to take the HIV prep, or if you You got a bad back and a swollen big toe, you can take this pill and you know what I'm saying. I don't want to hear all that. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to hear all that shit. I just want to hear my music flowing without the effort, the effortless music flowing. You know what I'm saying? Especially if I'm trying to lock in. I'm locked in at that point. You understand what I'm saying? But let's stay in the pocket. Let's stay right here with it. Right? We can close this shit on now. Every system competing for your attention is better and you won't notice when it's gone. You don't need to disappear. You don't even need to unplug forever. You don't need to win a war against technology, but what you need is recovery. You need moments without the input, thoughts that get a chance to be finished and get finished, silence that isn't filled on purpose. Attention is how you love, attention is how you learn, attention is how you decide who you are. And when your attention is constantly spent on everything, your life starts to feel like it belongs to everyone else except you. This isn't about discipline. Nah, this is about dignity. Because in this day and age, the most radical thing you can do in the loud world is decide what actually deserves your attention. Everything else can wait. Say that one more time. The most radical thing you can do in the loud world is decide what actually deserves your attention. Everything else, everyone else, everywhere else can wait. You understand what I'm saying? So, attention fatigue isn't just being tired. It was is what happens when your mind is constantly interrupted and overstimulated and harvested by the systems competing for every second of your focus. And we just broke down how attention works in the body, how the illusion of choice keep you scrolling, and why mental exhaustion makes people easier to steer, sell, and divide. This this isn't a lecture. It's just a reset. This is a slow and an honest walk back to the ownership of your mind, your focus, your agency. And if the noise has been loud lately, this session, this prescription, is just for you. Your attention isn't failing you. It's protecting you from drowning in a world that never stops asking for it. My name is the Trip here. This is another episode of the prescription. Make sure you hit that like button, that subscribe button, everything at the bottom. Make sure you read that. Cash App down there, Venmo down there. Get to me on the IG, on the Twitter, wherever you can get to me at. I'm not hard to find. Real niggas is out here making real content, real thoughtful content. You know what I'm saying? This content might save your motherfucking life. You know, I'm not here to, heal people and all that shit. I'm just here to make sure that we still have the right to think. You understand what I'm saying? The right to ask questions, the right to just be, the right to just exist. You understand what I'm saying? Much love to all the hustlers and the scholars and the doers in the world. Monumental to be monumental. Stay trill and heal. And most of all, stay mentally Trill. That's my time. Love y'all. I'm out. Get up with me.